You're Caleb Cartwright.
And you're Wes Bohr.
Hey, I have an idea.
What?
Let's have a pun off.
They are so punny.
Yes. Let's see. I believe the Colts are out of luck.
Would you say that I didn't draft him, so I'm the lucky one?
I guess you could say they're
We ruined it. Start it! Welcome in once again. You're here. We're here.
They're luck in a rut. I was trying to make Andrew Luck mean stuck, so he was there.
You're even ruining your apology. This is Your Life in a Fantasy Football World, episode 20.
Do you think I give a luck?
4.
I saved it.
Oh, we're so close to that season. It's been draft after draft after draft. I might be in the most leagues I've ever been in this year.
I'm exhausted, man. Oh my God, I'm exhausted.
Oh, there's so many.
And I haven't had I don't even have any of the top backs in my league. I've always drafted like 8 or something. I'm so mad.
I was going to say, it's so funny. The one league where I got the first pick, I auto-picked it because I didn't realize it started already.
The one league I had a top 3 pick was our Dynasty League, and I traded it away. And I'm not upset about it, but... It still would have been nice.
Got a first.
Me and Caleb are experimenting a little bit. We are experimenting with a Dynasty League, a Best Ball League, a positionless league.
Yeah.
Completely flex.
Fully flex. Very interesting. Fully flex league.
Full on flex.
Wes's only running backs. He only grabbed 2 running backs in a fully flex league. He has Chris Carson and Kalen Ballage.
Everyone else is a receiver.
Chris Carson's a sneaky top end back though.
Like he is a sneaky. He's a very sneaky.
He's coming in there, man. Isn't it funny? I don't know if you've tracked your mock drafts through this off season or paid attention to what you've been doing, but when we first started mock drafting to now, my teams have almost completely changed. There's a couple of players that I'm still focusing on, but I'm definitely late rounds. I'm going after different people now.
Oh yeah, I got you for sure. I haven't looked at it at all, but I knew. If I listened to earlier podcasts, I sound like a total idiot back then.
You're like, what do you mean Baker Mayfield's a sleeper? Oh, we have something very shocking to talk about. Pretty much everybody knows about it, but we're going to talk about it because I don't even remember. What were the puns? Oh, that's what the puns were for. I get it. I get it now. Andrew Luck retired.
Just for the pun of it.
He did.
Is this on? Just for the pun of it.
Oh, so Mr. Andrew Luck is...
Let me just say this. This podcast is going to break records for the amount of puns because I really feel guilty about how this thing opened. So any chance I have a window for a pun, I'm going to force it in there. It won't be funny. You'll cringe, and I'll know I've done my job.
You're going to force it into a window unlike... Andrew Luck?
Just leave the puns.
It wasn't even really a pun.
It wasn't.
No.
What were you doing with that?
It's just a joke.
Is that a quirk? A quip? A quip?
A quip?
Is a quip a word?
Yeah. Well, we are off to a great start. This may be our best podcast yet.
What is a quip?
Andrew Luck.
Oh, a witty remark. Yeah, that was a quip.
You can't even let me get the sentence out. He retired, okay? That's it. That's what I was trying to say. Andrew Luck retired, shockingly, on Saturday. I think news was starting to break out, and they got nervous, so they held a press conference quick in double time. Andrew Luck. I don't know. I didn't know what to think. I mean, I totally understand if you're beat up the way you are, and you love football more than you love money, and you're not enjoying playing football. Sure. I mean, somehow they worked out a deal, too, that he doesn't have to pay back any of the $23 million that he would have.
Whoa!
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Lucky him.
Maybe he's like going to do some advertising or in-house work or something like that. So, Luck.
Or like fly to NASA. Apparently he's a genius.
That's true. He did go to Stanford. A lot of people are like, his dad works for the XFL. So there's a place for you here.
It's nothing.
No. Very, very, very interesting. So Jacoby Brissett gets his option.
Yes. Now, just quickly, I got to say about Andrew Luck. You Colts fans should be ashamed of yourself for booing that guy off the field. That was a disgusting display.
Ridiculous, man.
It's ridiculous. Goddamn ridiculous.
It was.
I mean, the guy had what? They were going over his injuries. It's just from head to toe. This guy has been brutalized because of a terrible offensive line. It's just a shame he finally has a defense. He finally has an offensive line, and he is mentally and physically worn down. And now they're starting to build around him. I totally get why the guy, I mean, it's just, he's a walking cast, man. It's a shame. Yeah. And I understand why they're frustrated. They just went from Super Bowl contenders to trying to make a wild card. But, I mean, good God, man. The guy still wants to live a little bit. But if Roethlisberger does this, I'll kill him.
Don't he dare. Yeah,
don't he dare at all.
It is a shame, obviously, the way they reacted. But, that, I guess, at first reaction, all of a sudden you're realizing it and you're just standing there and then there he is walking away. I mean, do you clap? Hooray, you're leaving for the last time.
No, you give him a standing ovation because you spoiled bastages had Peyton Manning and Andrew Luck for the last 20 years.
Can you imagine them tanking for Tua now?
Yeah, watch him get Tua. Like, this is exactly what happened with Peyton Manning. He got hurt, and they lucked out, and I didn't even mean to do that. Because it's in my blood.
I'm so proud of it.
My instincts took over on that. Yeah, they got Andrew Luck, and now just watch him suck it up and somehow fall backwards into Tua, and then, oh, God, it's happening.
I will say, pretty smart move for the Colts hanging on to Brissett the way they did, even though there was rumors last year of being offered a first-round pick for him. They had to know something was going on, or they were unsure of where the health or mental capacity of Andrew Luck was going to be, because they held on to him tightly.
Yeah, well, the guy's always hurt, Andrew Luck.
Yeah.
And I think people are underestimating Jacoby Brissett a little bit. I mean, I know Hilton takes a hit, T.Y. Hilton, or Ty Hilton. Marlon Mack might take a hit. The two tight ends might take a hit, but I don't think it's as drastic as some people are making it out to be. So pump your brakes. Chill out.
Well,
and it's not like they're in the hardest division out there. They still could contend in that division. You got the Titans, the Jags, who aren't impressive to me. Yep. It's basically them and the Texans still, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's I hope for my remaining drafts that those players actually fall a little more, because I'd be happy to take them a little farther back. I mean, I haven't been targeting Hilton or Mack. I was high on Mack earlier in the year, but now it's going to be tough. But yeah. And so, you know what Brissett goes with? Gravy. Because his name makes me think of meat.
Brisket.
Yeah. Still a stretch. Every one of mine will be a stretch. You get as many on-point puns as possible. I'm just going to be telling jokes that I have to explain every time.
You're going to say a pun, and then you realize the next 3 minutes is going to be me verbally going through the joke, trying to get clues on what you meant.
and Googling the word, and then playing it over.
And
brisket. With gravy.
Is it brisket or... I gotcha.
Moving on. The Melvin Gordon phase, I don't know what to call it. Le'Veon 2.0. It's not going anywhere. I hear it. It's not going anywhere. Melvin Gordon, it looks like it's going to go into the season. It seems like he wants to play, but nobody's budging. And the Chargers are, again, historically known for being bad at negotiating on contracts. Don't know what's going to happen. I really stay away from him.
Stay away from him, I would say, in non-keeper leagues, in redraft leagues. Yeah. He's going to play at some point this year, and he's going to be awesome. And to be honest with you, Eckler and Jackson have not inspired any confidence with their preseason play. The door is open for him to go to the Texans. I don't think the Texans are going to bite, though, having just traded, I think, a third-round pick for Duke Johnson. I mean,
yeah.
How much can they... So I feel like Melvin Gordon, and he fits in that offense so well. It will go into the season. I did not see that coming, to be honest with you. I thought the Chargers, with Phillip Rivers, with very little time left in his career, they're going to do everything they can to try and get him into the playoffs, into that Super Bowl. But there's a pissing contest that interrupted that.
Yep. I mean, I understand. They want to get paid. They want their money, and they want it now. So I can't blame them for trying to fight for it. I just wish there was a better process for them to do it where they didn't have to hold out for the season. So, not great. Same's going on with Ezekiel Elliott. He's still, nothing's been done
Yeah, but at
there.
least he got offered a serious offer.
Yeah. And I mean, the way that the budget for the salaries cap for the year goes up and up and up, I'm kind of surprised they didn't just offer him at least the same deal Melvin Gordon was getting. But, you mean
Todd Gurley?
Yeah, Todd Gurley, the same deal. Like, if they at least offered him the same deal, maybe he would have taken it. But his eyes are set on being the best, highest.
The best is like, it's just like $1 million more a year or something.
Right.
Listen to me. But it's so close that just give him that title, man.
Well, Joe Thomas made a good point about how, you know what, all these years, everything goes up. They're continuously going to be the highest paid running backs if they're the best in their position. Unfortunately, even he said in his position, Elliott goes down a couple of notches because of him going through this, but that still means he should at least get 5% more than the highest player currently. So he's going to keep going on.
I don't know. That's enough about the holdouts.
Yeah.
They make us all very frustrated in fantasy because it's total gamble.
It is.
You're gambling on the negotiation, which neither side knows what's going to happen. So what the heck are we supposed to do about it?
It's nuts.
It's nuts.
Lamar Miller, unfortunately, was lost. Season-ending injury, tore his ACL plus an MCL sprain. He's done. Sad to see him go, as he was in a contract year himself with them, and I'm sure he was going to be playing hard to try and, get a new contract somewhere. He was still only 27 years old. I might be incorrect there.
He's a lot younger than I thought. He just seems like an old Frank Gore to me for some reason.
Yeah, it's
like he's just always been there.
It's sad, unfortunately. So it leaves a hole.
I guess it won't be Miller time this year.
It might not be Miller time this year. You pulled too hard for that one. It was yearly.
That's what I do, Caleb. I only have one speed with pulling, and it's hard.
Hard and fast. So unfortunately, if you have Duke Johnson, great. A lot of people are picking up the backup running backs. There's no clear winner there, and it's almost a guarantee that they're going to go out and grab somebody like Jay Ajayi, who to me is a very similar player to Lamar Miller. They may try to trade for a veteran running back, LaShawn McCoy, someone like that, but remains to be seen. And some curious news, don't get your hopes up, but Rob Gronkowski's agent was discussing the possibility that Rob Gronkowski, if Tom Brady were to ask him, would be willing to come back to the team and play this year. Small possibility. Certainly not going to happen until the season is going, but just keep an eye on it. If you got a dynasty spot or a bench spot, you're able to stash somebody. There's worse options out there for sure.
Yeah, I mean, don't get too excited. It's his season last year, and that's him practicing and going through all the OTAs and preseason, whatever. Left a lot to be desired. So don't expect Gronkowski coming back getting 1,200 yards and 12 touchdowns. Like, he's probably going to come back, get hurt, be mediocre until the playoff time, and then be a superstar. Yep.
So that's what'll happen. Just not in time for your fantasy playoffs, but for the actual playoffs. So that's all we got. Guess what? Part 2 is up now of our NFL predictions.
Thanks for helping me on that.
I was going to come in late.
Oh, you were quite late.
Oh, that's just like my wife. She got pregnant.
Oh, gosh. I tried to hold the laughing to make it awkward. And
It worked. It worked as best as possible.
You better go back and insert a cricket into that for me. Do that for me.
All right. You got it. All right. So here we go.
Oh, you started explaining it and stuff. Okay, sorry. Very unprofessional of me.
Let's get into our second phase of NFL predictions. Last week, Wes predicted the Kansas City Chiefs to win the Super Bowl. I predicted the New Orleans Saints. Now we're going to get into Players of the Year, MVP, who we think is the best and worst offense in 2019. And I'm going to leave that part to fantasy relevance, okay? And then we got another little segment after that. So see how it goes. Let's start off with Offensive Player of the Year. Now, I don't know about you, and before I'll let you go, but this was actually really difficult looking over everybody, looking over their stats. Like, there's some obvious choices that you can throw in there, but players like Tom Brady make you think twice, because if he does even semi-well, how old he is on that team, people are kind of just going to want to give him the title again.
Oh, they love to shove it up his butt because it's Tom Brady.
Exactly, but that's what I mean. If he throws for 35 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, with that receiving core, you never know.
It's actually not a bad receiving core. You got
that's what I mean.
Josh Gordon. Oh, I thought you meant like...
No, that's why I'm saying he could throw for that many. It's like he barely has to do anything with the team he's got. But
keep it in your pants, Caleb, for God's sake.
All right, who's your pick?
Offensive Player of the Year. Okay, so I was thinking about this because you got to think about it in different terms, that, like not MVP, you know. So It's usually someone who is more statistically consistent and dominant. It's not so much the most valuable player on their team. And usually, if I remember correctly, it's running backs have a better shot at it than they do for the MVP. So I was thinking Saquon, but I'm going with, I think the deal's going to get done before week 1. I think Ezekiel Elliott is going to get Offensive Player of the Year. I think he's going to have a great year, not get considered for MVP seriously, but I think going home with the Offensive Player of the Year trophy, well, if it is a trophy, I don't know what it is, a plaque maybe,
something,
a voucher for something.
you actually get a plaque just for picking him, and he has to give it to you. No,
I think he's in. There's a huge season in store for Ezekiel Elliott. I wish I had shares of him somewhere other than my dreams. But no,
we got too scared. We got too scared. It's a good pick.
I didn't get scared because I took Melvin Gordon like an idiot.
Well, you got him in Dynasty. That's not too bad. Right. Great pick, though. Ezekiel Elliott, absolutely. If he's back, he's had, 2 of the last 3 years, the most rushing yards in the season. And last year, his receiving game took a huge step up. If he gets a couple more touchdowns, he's already the number 1 running back. So that's a great pick. I am going to go a little off the cuff and not go running back. And I'm going to take somebody who I think is going to have an even bigger year than they've already been having. I'm going to take a wide receiver. I'm going to take DeAndre Hopkins. I think that he's in line to have 15 touchdowns and 1,500 yards receiving. I think he's going to be a big difference maker on that team, who's now really set to win the division and go into the playoffs. So I'm just going to take a stab out there and say DeAndre Hopkins. He's already pretty great. He can do it.
Pretty great. Hey, can I tell you something? The last time a wide receiver won Player of the Year was 1993, Jerry Rice.
All right.
And he has been the only player ever to do it. He did it in 87 as well. Otherwise, it's
telling me there's a chance.
Running back and quarterback. That is all, my friend. That is all.
Yeah. It's a long shot. I'll tell you that.
But if anyone can do it, it's DeAndre Hopkins for sure. And I just want to tell you about my pick. Just one more little detail is I took Elliott over Barkley because I think we can both agree that records do play a part in these awards. And I feel like a 5-11 team and Ezekiel Elliott and the Cowboys going to the playoffs, that is definitely going to have an impact. That's why I went with Elliott as well.
Yeah, I totally agree, because when I was first thinking about it, I was considering Saquon, and for the same reason that I think it's not going to be that great of a team. I'm like, well, There's no way. So that's him. Okay. Now we have defensive player of the year.
What do you say?
Obviously a little bit different. I'm actually going to go. I think I'm going to take the obvious one. Oh my God, his first name is escaping me. Defensive end on the Chicago Bears, Khalil Mack. I do think that defense is still going to be really good, and because the whole
or I just have to say this now before I forget. You might say Khalili good.
All right. I mean,
come on.
Just because that whole defense is going to be great this entire year. Just glance over it.
Sorry.
I think it's going to open up so many chances for him to get close to breaking that sack record. I can see him with 20 plus sacks this year with a full year on that defense. Obviously biggest hurdle would be Vic Fangio not being the defensive coordinator anymore this year. So we'll see how that plays out. But I'm going to take Khalil Mack.
Okay. Very good pick. I think in Vegas or wherever they have all these odds, I think has the second best odds. So make things even less exciting, I'm going to take the person with the best odds. Aaron Donald is going for the triple crown, man. 3rd year in a row. This guy is ridiculous. Watching him on Hard Knocks when the Raiders played him in practice, the guy is just, his moves, man, his strength, his abilities, it's ridiculous. He led the league in sacks, quarterback hits, tackles for loss, disruptions. It's just insane. He has the 7th highest rate in the NFL for sacks. He basically had 48.5% of the Rams' sacks. That's ridiculous.
That's a lot.
So, but the thing that really separates him from, I feel like, everyone else is he has like the highest level of production while facing probably the highest percentage of double teams. So it's just insane the disruption this guy can do. So Aaron Donald, that's what I'm saying, Caleb, and there's nothing you can do to change my mind.
Just a couple defensive ends battling it out. If it comes down to the two of them to be nominated, they have to battle to the death to win.
Yep. It's like the Joker. They just smash a pool stick over their knee and he drops in between them. Make it quick.
Offensive Rookie of the Year. Moving on again. This one was also really difficult for me because there's somebody I wanted to pick very badly, but they might not start to start the year.
That's a big deal.
But I think they just could finish so good. But go ahead. I'll let you. It's your turn to go first.
Well, can I tease the audience a little bit, Caleb? With some tidbits. You like a good tidbit, don't you?
The titter. Whatever I'm saying.
Keep it clean. Keep it clean.
Good thing I don't get paid to talk.
Now listen to this. Actually, you do.
Shh.
4 of the 6 last winners have been running backs. Okay. Only one quarterback has won it over the last 6 years. Bonus points if you can name him.
Last 6 years. Cam Newton.
Dak Prescott.
Ah.
No tight end or offensive lineman has ever won it. Only 3 receivers have won it over the last 20 years. Okay?
Okay. Do I have to name them?
Yeah, if you could name... yeah, right. And just this is irrelevant, but the Offensive Rookie of the Year award has been won by the NFC for 12 straight seasons. So...
Wow. Interesting.
I was thinking about the obvious, Kyler Murray, because there's so much hype around the guy, but I'm going with the running back, Caleb. My man crush, David Montgomery. I feel like he could put up over 1,000, get a bunch of touchdowns, and this was, in my opinion, not a huge offensive draft, so I feel like the field's a lot thinner than it normally would be, so I feel like he could easily come out with Offensive Rookie of the Year.
It's a good pick because, again, what I was stating about, I think it really is going to need to be a player that's starting from the beginning of the year. But you know what? I'm just going to take a stab in the dark because I have zero I have zero repercussions going with this. I don't think he's starting, but I think he's going to win the job quickly. And
Wait, can I guess? Can I guess?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, of course.
Okay. Why do you sound pissed?
Because you're probably going to get it.
Like a little kid that wants to help you. Oh, fine. God. No, I have no clue. I'm trying to think.
This is really off base for me. So.
Off base?
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. So it's not Darwin Thompson?
No.
Who is it? Who do you think it is?
Who do I think it is? I know who it is.
I mean, like, try and guess, Caleb. No, I mean, like, who is it?
I'm gonna say that Daniel Jones is gonna take over the Giants team a couple of weeks into the year, and he's going to dominate on his offense. And watch them go 9-7 behind Daniel Jones. I didn't say that it wouldn't be a hot take.
Caleb, I'm being a little quiet right now because I'm rubbing my hands with Vaseline to get the burns off. That was extremely hot.
Yeah, I know.
That would be.
But I'm taking him.
Hey, take him.
I feel like out of all of the quarterbacks that were drafted this year, aside from Kyler Murray, he stands the biggest chance of starting the soonest going into the season. Even though I know Gettleman's got a bit of a lucky one going for Mr. Eli Manning.
He's jonesing for Daniel. No, wait.
Joneson's
good. That's a good one, though.
Yeah, you got it. So, yeah, that's what I'm taking. Okay? All right. Moving on. Yeah.
The only reason I wouldn't pick him is, like you said, he like the Eli Manning, and he like him a lot. And I feel like even if it's an ugly year, he is just going to force Eli to go out there and start every game.
Can I have a caveat on this one?
Definition of caveat. Keep going.
That's probably not the proper word. It's something of a word. But if he doesn't start throughout the whole year, okay, obviously he can't win. So can I have a backup?
A warning. That's kind of a warning. Yes. Yeah, you can give me a plan B.
Okay, because my other guy was the obvious choice in Josh Jacobs, because he's number one guy there.
Yes.
If he's successful, if he goes over 1,000 yards, 8 touchdowns, I think he could easily win Offensive Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, so catch the ball, that could be a big deal. I feel like if Josh Jacobs wins it or loses it, it's all just how the Raiders' offense meshes this year.
Yeah, exactly. So, yep. So I'm taking a way long shot and then a short thing. So, okay. I didn't actually put Defensive Rookie in the Year here, but I can do that if you would like.
I would like, Caleb. Daddy would like.
Cool. And my turn to start. I don't know why I'm big on this guy. I watched him play the other night, and I've actually watched him play 2 times in this preseason. Shame on me. I love Devin Bush. I think that he's going to get himself he's going to shut things down. He's going to get some interceptions. And in that defensive backfield, the steel curtain known for being what it is, he's going to show his offensive abilities, defensive abilities. And I'm going to take him because I like him a lot. So.
Yep. He is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Devin Bush is definitely going to win the Defensive Rookie of the Year. If you watch him in those 2 games, Caleb, he is all over the place, man. He is a playmaker. He reminds me a lot of Ryan Shazier. He's got a little swag to him, He's he's the front runner right now for Defensive Rookie of the Year just from those few preseason snaps he took. Yeah. A lot of promise there. There are some other guys that could be intriguing, but I think he's the clear-cut favorite right now.
Definitely. The other guy, the Jaguars, Josh Allen. Yeah, he's a freaking beast against my Dolphins the other day.
Oh, was he? I didn't get to see him.
Holy cow, they couldn't do anything. Until Josh Allen was out, those quarterbacks could not do anything on the field. It was bad.
Yeah, so Josh Allen's the reason that Josh Rosen and Fitzpatrick couldn't throw the ball. Whatever.
So, to be honest,
kidding with
Rosen's
you.
first drive, he drove them 99 yards down the field, and they got a touchdown. So,
Can
it
I
was
go
very
real
good
off
run.
topic with you? Just a little side point.
Is it
Side
about football?
Side stream. Yeah.
Okay, it's not too off topic then.
So, with you watching, which quarterback are you leaning towards? Who do you want to win the job?
Listen, Ryan Fitzpatrick would be more fun, but I'm a fan of this team to get better for the future, right? So that is also double-sided. So we spent some capital. A third-round pick is still something in getting Josh Rosen. Put all of your support behind him and let him play this year and see if he really can get it done. If you don't let him start and you're not supporting him as the starter of this team, then he's going to lack confidence, and then we're just going to have him next year, and it's going to make things confusing. I understand you want to make some excitement, bring in some fans. Ryan Fitzpatrick is going to, throw some long bombs. Maybe he'll only play the first 3 weeks of the year, but to me, you have a former first-round pick only a year ago, and you paid a third-round pick for him. Put your back into him and support him and just let him man this team. That's my opinion.
Very good.
So,
Very good. I was just curious from a Dolphin fan perspective, how you were feeling.
This is a rebuilding year, so rebuild it with your pieces that could be part of that, right?
Well put. Well put.
So, all right. The Big Daddy, MVP, most valuable player is Andrew Luck. Too soon?
Nope.
Yeah. So, most valuable player. Who do you like?
Who do you think I like, Caleb?
Ben Roethlisberger.
No.
No? Okay.
I try and keep my heart out of this. I think with my mind. But
who do I think you like from MVP? It's got to be on a good team. Got to be a good person. Got to be Patrick Mahomes.
Nope.
Oh, okay. I figured you were taking them to the Super Bowl, so.
An old man. Rocks a pretty sick mustache. I can't stand him because sometimes he's arrogant.
Taking Aaron Rodgers.
Yes, I feel like Matt LaFleur changing this offense. His presence, I think, has changed Aaron Rodgers. It's like someone just gave your crying child everything they wanted. So he'll be happy for a while. And that while might be this year and next year, and he's going to play lights out. Aaron Rodgers has the name, so I feel like he has the upper hand on some people because it's Aaron Rodgers. And I feel like the Packers are going to have sort of a resurgence. I feel like all that combined makes Aaron Rodgers my favorite. Hey, can I tell you something funny? I saw a picture of a poor SOB who has his ticket for putting $1,000 down on Andrew Luck being the MVP.
Oh, that poor guy.
Sad, man. Andrew. I guess he... nothing.
Yes, he ran out of luck. Yes.
I guess he Andrew the short goddamn straw.
Oh, this is great.
I'm exhausted.
I'm going to re-listen to this and be like, oh, we're the worst.
Yeah, this will probably be the last podcast. We'll probably listen to it, get together and say, we had a good run, but we're both a couple of A's.
So mine is, you got to go with quarterback here. I know I really want to get hot takey, but I'm not going to. A team that I believe they're going to have a great offense again this year. And I really should have been picking more shares of him up. I know he's up and down. I really wanted to go with Drew Brees because I just wish he would win it one time with the stats he's put up. But I'm going to take Matt Ryan on the Falcons, as I think they're going to have a good team and they are going to get into the playoffs and they're going to cause some issues. And so, yeah, that's it. I don't really have that much to say about them.
Can you name me, Caleb? I know this is a sort of a quiz run I'm on right now. Who has the most MVPs of all time with 5?
Barry Sanders. No, I don't know.
Peyton Manning.
Oh, that was the first name that popped into my head, but I should have said it.
And then there's a couple tied with
Go with
3.
your gut!
Come on, Caleb, get your head in the game.
All right. Now, best fantasy offense in 2019. What team is going to have the most stud players that you will be drafting and I will be drafting or missing out on throughout the fantasy football season?
I'd just like to put a little disclaimer out there. We might not be on the same page with this. I went with more of a underrated and overrated, like teams that maybe you should be paying more attention to fantasy-wise, and teams that you might be paying too much attention to fantasy-wise.
I guess that's okay.
You'll allow it?
Yeah, sure, why not? I'll allow anything.
Anything.
Yeah. Okay. Our next segment covers that slightly, but not that much.
What? Let me see our next. Oh, yep. Okay.
So, in my opinion, the best fantasy football offense all around. This was another really tough one for me, but just because you have to think that they're the best all around, but because of who they have, I'm going to take the Falcons on this one too. I think they have who I think is going to be a stud running back this year, stud wide receiver in Julio Jones. Of course, Devontae Freeman is a running back. A quarterback who's going to finish in the top 10 in Matt Ryan. If you're playing with kickers, they have an awesome kicker with Matt Bryant. Even tight ends, a lot of people are big on Austin Hooper. I don't know how he'll do, but this could be his year.
Austin Pooper, actually.
Austin Pooper. Maybe he's the lucky one. And so this is I think they're going to have an awesome offense this year, and you could fill your team with every position, even their defense, because their defense is set up in this season, if they don't get injured, to be a really good defense. So if you had a Falcons-only team, I think you'd do pretty good.
Pretty good. Just looking over the football teams. No. So best, in my opinion, is a boring answer. Kansas City Chiefs. You have arguably the best quarterback, fantasy-wise, on their team. You have arguably the best tight end on their team. You have a top 5 scumbag at receiver on their team. You have a running back that's explosive, and if he goes down, you have this rookie that came out of nowhere, Darwin Thompson, who seems extremely explosive.
Andy Reid is a running back whisperer, man.
Dude, he is. He's a fiend.
Yeah.
That doesn't fit. He's
good.
He's awesome. He is very good at the football game.
Yep.
Now, underrated, I just have to say, I hate to keep talking about him, but the Packers, man, this Aaron Jones getting the reins, I feel like that's an extremely underrated move. Aaron Rodgers, a happy Aaron Rodgers. You got Devontae Adams, who's steady Freddy. Help me with the guy's name, Scantling. What's his long name?
Marquez Valdez Scantling.
Yeah, I feel like him and Allison, big deal, man. They're two young receivers that, when healthy, you could have a pretty dang potent offense here. So I feel like maybe they're not getting as much. I mean, those two receivers, Allison and Scantling, are going so low in drafts. And if Aaron Rodgers throws for 5,000 yards, Devontae Adams is catching maybe 1,500 of them, man. That's a lot of yards to go around.
Absolutely. Now, I mean, you say underrated, though, but Aaron Rodgers is second, sometimes third quarterback off the board early. Devontae Adams is top 5 being taken off the board, if you're saying underrated. But you're saying in general, in the NFL season, they're going to produce really well.
Trying to make me look like an ass, and you're not going to succeed, Caleb.
Hey, man.
I'm talking about... So,
personal attack.
No, listen. I'll defend myself. Aaron Rodgers and Adams, definitely 2 studs. And most teams have a stud or 2. I'm talking a little deeper. Like Aaron Jones, I don't think is getting the respect he deserves. And the other 2 receivers I talked about, even Jimmy Graham, I mean, he's extremely talented. If he can stay healthy, might be a bit of a resurgence. So I feel like, yes, Rodgers, top 3 quarterback. Devontae Adams, arguably the top top 2 wide receiver, but it's the rest of the offense that I'm grabbing all the crumbs from the draft and just gathering them all up, putting them on my bench and waiting for them to bloom.
That's the great thing. Like, if it sucks because you have to take like 3 roster positions, but somebody's going to be the number 2 wide receiver on that team, and that'll be a very valuable guy.
Very valuable.
So my worst offense for 2019 for fantasy value is, unfortunately, my Miami Dolphins. It's a tie between the Miami Dolphins and the Washington Redskins, because I think, obviously, we don't even know who the quarterback's going to be. If it's Ryan Fitzpatrick, you could get some value there for a time and possibly increased value to your wide receivers. Unfortunately, right now, it looks like a muddied backfield that neither of those running backs are going to finish better than a low-end RB2 at best. And, same goes for the Redskins. You have Adrian Peterson, could possibly be something. Geis looks better, but he's got to work into that role again. You can't trust the quarterback. You guys, you did that last week. You can't do it again. Their quarterback is going to do nothing. The wide receivers are very shaky. I like Trey Quinn, but still very late pick. But Dolphins, I'm sorry, you're not going to be a very good offense this year. No, that's me.
Well, and their Redskins' number 1 receiver, Josh Doxson, apparently they're trying to trade him right now.
Didn't they just get him? No.
Well, they drafted him a couple years ago with, I think that was the draft with Will Fuller and Corey Coleman. Maybe even Laquan Treadwell. I mean, it's a pretty bad draft for receivers. He was a first-round pick, and he hasn't done squat in the NFL. And plus, this is his last year on that contract, so it makes sense they'd want to get rid of him. But yeah, you nailed 2 teams, so I'm going to go with my third team, just so I don't reiterate what you're talking about.
No, I like that, because I was trying to think of another that was going to be that bad.
Buffalo Bills. And this is strictly for... I'm sorry, Caleb. Buffalo Bills, man. I watched some of their preseason. I know it's preseason. I know the playbook is barely open. But Josh Allen, I like the guy a lot, man. Potential out the rectum. But he is not impressing me at all. And if your quarterback can't get it to your receivers, I don't care if your receivers are Antonio Brown, Jerry Rice, Keyshawn Johnson, and someone else really awesome, Randy Moss. If they can't get the ball, then what's it matter? Your running backs are basically an old folks' home. You got LaShawn McCoy, Frank Gore, Devin Singletary I like a lot, and TJ Yeldon, who might not even make the final 53 because of Singletary's emergence. I mean, it's going to be a muddled backfield. The wide receivers are a bunch of mediocre guys. Josh Allen is having issues with his accuracy. I like Josh Allen long term. I like John Brown if Josh Allen could get him the ball, and I like Devin Singletary long term. But for this year, I really don't like any of those players for a full season of stats. So I would say the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, that's rough. It's one of those offenses that really need to develop through the season. You're not starting them in week 1.
Yes. And my bit of a overrated offense, and I'm sure you're going to tear me a new one for this, is the Houston Texans.
Ooh.
I feel like that offensive line, you have running backs that no one's ever heard of before right now other than Duke Johnson, who has never been a lead back in the NFL. You got a rough backfield, man. I mean, they're just... When I saw Lamar Miller go down, people in our leagues are picking up they're picking up 2 to 3 Texan running backs that no one's ever heard of because no one has a clue who's going to be the backup to Duke Johnson. You got Will Fuller, who, as talented as he is, cannot give you 16 games. He can't even give you 12, for God's sake. Who's their tight end? The only constant is DeAndre Hopkins and Deshaun Watson.
Yes.
And Deshaun Watson, I don't see him playing 16 games behind that line, man. I don't care how durable you are. That offensive line is terrible. So
I guess I just, at least for a while, I see him throwing 40, 50 times a game because of the running back situation. And that's a tasty treat.
Caleb over there, licking his chops, real naughty like.
As he gets pounded into the ground, sack after sack. Wasn't he? He was the most sacked quarterback last year, wasn't he?
Yeah, and they've done nothing to that offensive line.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, like, as high flying as everyone thinks that offense is going to be, really, when it comes down to it, they got two guys I'm kind of interested in. I mean, Hopkins, obviously, but Watson, I like him, but scares me with his health. Fuller, who's the tight end? Who's the running back? All that stuff. So that's my bit overrated.
It's good. I'm good. That's fine. Whatever. They can still have two really great players and be overrated. All right. Our next segment, we'll keep it short and sweet. And I plan to do this without much context, by the way. So
me as well.
I'm not going to say the title I put in here because it's stupid, but
we say it.
We hate big busts. And we
cannot
love stealing. Biggest fantasy busts of 2019 and biggest steals of 2019. And we're going according to the ADP, where they're being drafted, who we consider to be the most likely players when you look at the end of your year to be like, oh boy, I'm so glad I grabbed him, or I'm so mad that I got him. So
yes. So just to preface this, I want...
What does it mean?
It's an introduction to a book, typically stating its subject, scope, or aims, or provide a book with a well, that doesn't make sense.
It's not always about a book. You don't even know how to read a dictionary properly.
Thank you. I'm just saying, the guys I picked on here, I feel like I went with who's going to have the biggest jump or drop from our rankings now to a year from now. Does that make sense?
You mean who we're drafting high now that likely will be
like
mid
theoretically
to late rounds next year?
Theoretically, like maybe there's a top, like the 8th overall back I think could go number 1 overall next year. That's only a 7-spot jump as opposed to someone that went from 30 to 10. That's a 20-spot jump, you know?
Okay, I got it. Let me ask you one more clarifying question before we get into it. Can we include injury risk in our bust prediction?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Okay. So let's start with the biggest busts of 2019. Do you want to start? You want me to go?
You can. I guess you can start, Caleb.
Okay. Okay.
I'm having too much fun.
You're like, what are we doing again? Are we still recording? What's going on here? Let me start. I'm going to start with the running back 10 going in ADP and PPR leagues right now. He is Joe Mixon, the running back for the Cincinnati Bengals. So for multiple reasons, he has some injury risk. He is actually a really good, talented running back, but he has some injury risk. He rarely gets to play through a full season or consistently through. Then he's also on one of the worst teams, also up there with one of the worst offenses. I don't even know why I didn't pick them. Probably because of Joe Mixon. AJ Green's not going to be there, so they're going to focus more on the run game and play it closer. Then that offensive line, they lost their stud offensive lineman that they drafted in the first round this year. So the offensive line is shaky. So you put all that together with a mediocre quarterback, and you're going to get who is being drafted, by the way, in the second round. You're going to find yourself at the end of the year with Joe Mixon back as the RB 18, 19, 20 in the RB2 line. And that's not the return you want on a player that you are likely going to have to draft in the first or second round.
Very good. Yeah, I agree with that for sure. So I have a list of 6 guys here.
Okay.
I'm going to tell you 5 of them, and then I'm going to talk a little more about my number 1 pick. So I had Leonard Fournette down there. I feel like he's only probably got 2 or 3 more years in this league. He's just not impressive at all.
Yeah.
Todd Gurley, I feel like this could be the beginning of the end. You might get a little aroused over this. Amari Cooper. I feel like he'll. That was pure bliss out of you, just out of a.
He's gonna be my wide receiver bust, so I'm agreeing there.
I feel like at the end of the year he's gonna be the number 2 on that team. Derrick Henry, I think this year is gonna just confirm him not being that back. And Phillip Lindsay, I feel like if those running backs stay healthy, I feel like it's going to be a clear-cut running back by committee, and no one's going to want anything to do with that backfield. But my guy that's going to drop the largest amount is...
Drum roll, please.
Damian Williams.
Ooh!
I feel like he is going to have
off
a good...
the train.
I feel like he's going to have a good 8-9 games this year. I feel like at the end of the year, he's not going to be your starting running back, and I feel like next year, he might not even be on the team. They got a great young talent. The rookie, Darwin Thompson, I feel like he will eventually take over that backfield, and they're going to need someone who can be a change of pace back, more of a goal line back or something, a bruiser, if you will. And that's not Damian Williams. So I see him falling out of the top. He's a running back 13 right now. I see him maybe being running back 25 next year. I just could see him having a huge tumble.
I like it. I like it a lot. We think a lot. I've seen with doing some of our drafts, you taking these players that I'm suddenly high on and low on and blah, 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 and so forth. Yeah, I'm going to actually pivot. I'll give you one more. I'm going to pivot from the guy that Amari Cooper, and I'm going to go with another wide receiver that I think is going to bust this year. And maybe I'm not the only one, but Kenny Golladay on the Detroit Lions looks to be the number 1 on that team. It's got a tough climb back from where he is, going in back to the 3rd, 4th round right now. Instead of Kenny Golladay, you could be picking up Josh Jacobs. Chris Carson is going near him. Tyler Lockett, David Montgomery, Mark Ingram, Cooper Kupp. I just think of where he's drafted and the players around him. I can see him finishing way back at wide receiver 30 or more on an offense that's changing and going to be focused more on the run, a lot heavier on the run with Darrell Bevell at the helm. So, yeah, Kenny Golladay, I think, as the wide receiver is going to be busted.
Oh, nice. Nice throwback. Very good.
Yeah.
Now we go to the steals.
I got this stealing that these are going to be some good picks.
Okay. No. Yeah.
Whatever.
Judge?
Sometimes I get lucky.
I'll allow it.
Okay.
Now I got to think of one. You want to go first so I can think?
Biggest steals. I've been growing on this fella quite a bit. An amazing fast recovery for a 32-year-old wide receiver. I know it's just preseason, but if you're going to give Emmanuel Sanders, wide receiver of the Denver Broncos, 32-year-old, an end around in preseason to run right into traffic, you have some pretty good high expectations for where his recovery is. Right now, you can get him back. His ADP is 107, still wide receiver 44. I mean, that's prospectively his finishes over the last, million years have almost always been wide receiver 1 territory when he's been healthy. It's absolutely amazing to me that everyone is sleeping this heavily, even when it's been pretty much spelled out that he's healthy and ready to go. And he looks every bit of that. I know it's Joe Flacco throwing to him, but last year he had Case Keenum throwing to him. And in the time that he was there, he was the wide receiver, was it 12? He's an awesome talent. His career is not over. He seems like he's healthy. He's on an offense that needs him. Cortland Sutton is the next best option that they have there. And so Emmanuel Sanders, I think for where he's going, he is the biggest steal right now. One of.
Very good, Caleb. Well, I am just going to talk about a guy that, if you're contending for the championship, just might steal the deal. If you're looking to do that. Again, I have a long list of guys.
Rattle them off.
Ratatouille! Do you ever hear of Ratatouille?
I love Ratatouille.
Sorry, I'm trying to think of this child's book. It's a thing that attacked a cobra. It's Rafiki. Oh, god dang. Okay, I'm
moving on. No, I don't know what you're talking about.
That is going to bother me so much. Oh, it was like a mongoose that fought a snake.
No, I don't know that one.
Oh, God almighty. Oh, it's hurting me. Okay. Kerryon Johnson could have a big jump, but not big enough to excite me. Dalvin Cook, I think, is going to fly up the board. Not enough to excite me. David Montgomery, Chris Godwin, Darius Geis, they're all going to be ranked much higher next year than they are now. It'd be boring for me to pick Darwin Thompson. Michael Gallup is one of my two guys I'm picking.
Oh.
Wide receiver 54? Are you kidding me? He's blowing them away in Cowboys camp right now. Amari Cooper can't stay healthy. Him and Prescott got a thing going on. If you've seen any of his catches in the preseason, this guy is catching on in a big way. He was not arguably, everyone thought DJ Moore was the best wide receiver in the draft, but Michael Gallup, apparently a lot of scouts liked him even better than DJ Moore, and he's showing them why. So I like him at a wide receiver 54.
Crazy.
Next year, I could see him being top 30, top 25 maybe.
Absolutely. I mean, let's say that Amari Cooper turns out to be the bust he is. Michael Gallup will be the number one wide receiver on that team. And again, another player that that I've been getting high on, and thanks for also agreeing. That's what I'm gonna say. Who else? Who's your other guy?
Oh yeah, Devin Singletary. I mean, I feel like LaShawn McCoy, I believe this is the last year of his contract. Frank Gore signed a 1-year deal in Buffalo. It's his backfield next year, and he's a running back 49. Next year, it is going to be his backfield. Top 20 running back. He's going to be ranked. If you have a keeper or a dynasty league, get him on your team now. He's shown nothing but promise in the preseason. He had 1 carry last game, and guess what? It only went for a touchdown. So he is a big sleeper for me. I like him. He's not going to blow you away with speed. He's not going to run you over with power. He's just a good all-around back.
I like it. I love it. You can give me more. No, the only problem is like
Ricky Tavi.
The only problem is like what you said. They could be one of the worst offenses in football this year, and so if that could be troublesome.
Yeah, but he could be lining up with Josh Allen's development. That'd be Josh Allen's 3rd year.
Yeah,
he's coming in. It's Ricky Ticky Tavi, Caleb. Have you ever heard of Ricky Ticky Tavi?
Definitely not, and I'm pretty sure you just made that up.
Heck no. People ask, is Ricky Ticky Tavi a true story? Of course it's not a true story. It's about a mongoose. How could you even track that story?
I can't track it, and I've never even read it.
Did the mongoose verify the facts of the story? Why do mongooses hate snakes?
This is good podcasting.
Hey, sorry. Ricky Ticky Tavi, man. And I know a lot of people out there are going to be totally like, I knew it. They're probably yelling at me. It's Ricky Ticky Tavi.
Yeah, you idiot. It's so obvious. I never
say it angry.
I never heard of it in my entire life.
Ricky Ticky mother freaking Tavi.
I still think it's made up.
That's because you're a homeschool, Caleb. That's
that might
bread
be
and butter.
I don't know what a library is.
I'm not busting on homeschool. I'm just saying public school. Ricky Ticky Tavi was a staple when it came to short stories. What are we talking about? Oh, yeah, football.
I'll give you my last real quick. Last guy, D.D. Westbrook, for reasons I don't know. Neither of us are big on Nick Foles, but I think he's going to be pretty much targeted 80% of the time, and he's going to have a ton of catches in the slot. And that's all.
I totally agree. I heard he's like killing it in practice, and like all of Foles' passes going to him. So yeah, where he's at right now, that's definitely a good one.
Yeah, Foles had 10 passes the other night, and 7 of them went to D.D. Westbrook.
Very
little piece of interesting news I just read is that A.J. Green could return as soon as week 3.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Could be cool.
So 2 games off. Let him sit on your bench, recover a little bit for 2 weeks, and throw him in there.
Yeah. Long shot. We'll see. Hey, that's it. We did it. Those are our biggest busts and steals. If you want more, hickama.
If you want us, hit
us up on social media at LifeInAFFW. Send us a message. Come dance with us. I feel like Duke Silver here. Come and join us. Feel with us. Breathe. I forget what he says. It's just a reference that I won't understand. And that's all I got.
I gotcha. Yep. How do you want to end this podcast, Caleb?
Like this.
Sphincter. Heart. Penis. Feces.